Okay, everybody, thank you so much for coming back and joining us in this edition of Dina Marie Live. This is our trending topics where we love to bring you the news and the views. Okay, um, the first thing I wanted to talk about was I wanted to wish Courtney Kardashian and Travis Barker a wish and a prayer, and thankful that they are doing okay because they had a scare with her pregnancy, and because of that, they're now doing better, from what I hear, and that's a blessing. So, um, I want to send my love and warm wishes out to them because they didn't really go into depth, and maybe because they'll get into more depth on their show. I'm not sure, but I'm just thankful that she's okay. Um, and I was a little bit concerned, to be honest, at the beginning, just because I know she tried so hard, and I know that she does a nice job in taking care of her body and eating well and being healthy and things like that. But I just, um, as we get older, it's a lot of people that are having babies at in 40s and 50s and stuff like that, and that's fine. Um, but it's just, I just was worried for her, and so I know that she's going to be okay, and they will deliver their baby boy. I guess they found out before they were. I don't know if they already knew that they were having a boy, or if this particular fetal surgery that they had to have created them being told, or what the scenario was. But I have no doubt in my mind that she will carry their baby to success, and they will be happy. So I'm thankful to hear that, and I just wanted to send that out. The other thing is, oh, sorry, for some reason, this is the time of day where I'm not very hungry, and my blood sugars drop. So I have to try to eat something or drink something. In this case, I love these Premier protein shakes. Yummy chocolate. Premier Protein. Premier, if you're watching, I will be more than happy to endorse. They have some other shakes, the strawberry vanilla. I love their shakes. Out of every protein shake I've ever had in my life, this is the only one I can tolerate. And the chocolate is the yummiest, but I love it. Oops. It has 30 grams of protein, and it's only got 1 gram of sugar. So it doesn't make my blood sugars go up. This is what I use for my diabetes. And then when I was telling you guys last week how tired I was, it was because I was lacking protein, and I drink one of these bad boys and I'm good. I order them right off of Amazon. And I do have a piece of licorice. I know it's not good to chew while I'm online, but I buy this by the pound. 5 pound box of Twizzlers come to my house, because I don't know about you, but with my diabetes, and I know we're not talking about diabetes, we're going to get into our topic. I'm sorry. I like to have stuff on hand because the Ozempic makes you not hungry, and unfortunately, you got to have something. Okay, so my apologies. Let me finish it. Mhm. But notice I have the I take protein with some type of carb, even though I wanted to have chips and guacamole, but that wouldn't go over as well. So My apologies. I didn't want to take too long being off. So I came back on. Here we are. So I was going to have a guest friend of mine um, who I dated in the past, kicked it with, who had a drug addiction, because this particular topic is about drug addiction, unfortunately. Um, his schedule did not permit him to come on at this time, but in the future, we will probably bring him on, and then he can be able to give you firsthand knowledge about his experience in life and whatnot. Um, and at that time, I'll introduce him, and we'll go from there. But I thought that just like my homeless segment, you know, that's the reason why. I'm not. I don't. I'm not pressuring anyone to be on my show, but I really would love for people to be on my show. But I feel like whenever we venture out to do certain things, sometimes you don't always get the turnouts that you want and hope for. And that's okay, because I'm still here, right? And I'm here every Thursday. I mean, like today, I was really in the mood to just take a nap, because um, they had some stuff going on in my complex with our parking lot. So we all had to be out of the parking lot, and I'm in a gated community, so we had to be out by 6 a.m. Long story short, I set my clock for 5:30, because if anybody knows that finding spots to park on the street here in LA is like finding a needle in a haystack. So I got up at 5:30, and I was so mad because it was like 3, 4 other people. Like, this is just what, if I had to say one thing I don't like about LA, is that if you have that idea, there's like 10,000 other people that are doing the same thing. And you don't even think that, because you're thinking, shoot, I'm the only one thinking this. I don't know why I think that, especially in this day and age. On the younger people's side, they really advance. So anyway, long story short, I go to take my car out, and I through the night, for some reason, oh God, here they come. These two right here. No, ma'am. You cannot be over here either. Go on over there with your brother. Um, they're, I couldn't sleep, is what I was trying to say, because I kept waking up all night. So I wanted to lay there or whatever, but I still got up, because it's important to me to be consistent with my podcast. I know I'm going to succeed. I see it. I feel it. I believe it. I know it. I smell it, and I am looking for sponsors, chips, people that want to be sponsored, excuse me, on my show. I will be more than happy to rep you, and I'm going to tag you, Premiere, because I love Premiere. I love Premiere Shakes. Anyway, stories of recent celebrities going to rehab, or always fill up the tabloids, and they spread across internet like a fire in the wild. Okay. But every day there's a new celebrity that maybe has gotten carried away with drugs or alcohol or whatever. And you don't really hear it in the news as much anymore, because there's so much other stuff going on, like suicides. You know what I mean? And the guy from that 70s show, I cannot believe it. I mean, I'm not saying that it shouldn't have happened, but he has gotten 30 years for rape. He raped 2 people, and he has 30 years behind bars for rape. And I guess they kept going back and back and back and back, and finally, um, they finally was able to prosecute him, Danny Matheson. And I just, you know, I don't even know how to express how I feel when something like that happens, because your heart wants to go out to anybody experiencing a tragic loss, and that could be the person whose family got raped, or the person who got raped, or this celebrity that we knew to be good at his job, who was taking advantage of people out in the streets. Lord Jesus. But anyway, I do not believe for one iota of a second that being in fame causes you to become an addict, or whatever. I do feel that there are people who think that they are better than they should, and then they just start doing stuff. But hell, if they was out here in these streets, and they were not those celebrities or fame, have that fame or that fortune, they would still do effed up stuff, right? Because their mental is jacked up. It's just that we don't know it until these addictions become part of the media. Okay. And they get out in the media, and next thing you know, people are aware of people, other of these celebrities being broadcast, their business being broadcast. And my main goal is to share, like we always talk about, all celebrities are human. You know, they're human just like we're human. We're all human, and it's very unfortunate that things like this happen to everybody, But with that being said, there it seems like, we there's so many issues with drug abuse among celebrities. But I bring this up because our world is suffering tremendously right now, with drug abuse issues also. We've got that fentanyl story. We've been talking about that the last week or two, or previous, but Substance Abuse and Mental Health Service Administration, they're out there for you. But the art and entertainment industry, um, and or recreation industry, has about 12.9% of full-time workers qualified for a substance use disorder in the past year. Um, and it will say in the past year, but in since 2008 all the way up until now, out of the 19 different industries that we can talk about that are in this area of arts and entertainment and recreation, in this industry, have had the third highest rate of substance use and problems. And you have to ask yourself, why is this happening? Why are there so many celebrities with drug issues? Now, obviously the industry is highly competitive. We get that. There's a pressure from the outside world. It's no doubt that they're constantly in the spotlight, and they're trying to live up to these expectations, of being, having limited privacy and things like that. I think that if I had to guess as well, the majority of these would be children stars who have been thrown into this by their mom or their dad, and they just now are getting to live the life of a child, but they're 30, you know. So that's huge. But peer pressure, um, I don't know, like even with models, when they have these models who have been out and been in a model since they were 15, 16, underwear model, whatever, perfume, whatever. And they definitely have a lot of peer pressure because they haven't even been able to learn more social skills in a public setting of school like maybe some of us have. But addiction to the high uh, that they get from being in the spotlight and searching for other ways to get that same feeling, I guess. But see, I believe that and I don't believe that because as I have learned by my friends who have been my friend that we'll meet eventually, with addiction, it is a person has an addictive brain or they don't. And so when they become addicts, they are always chasing that high. So to me, it becomes magnified when you are a celebrity, but I don't feel that being a celebrity is why you become an addict. What are your thoughts? Leave me comments. Tell me what your thoughts are because, you know, I get a celebrity constantly being in the limelight, but I also feel that there are other recourses that an individual, whether they're celebrities or not, can take to prevent themselves from taking that recourse as an addict. You don't have to take the drug. You know, if you find that you're smoking pot or weed or cannabis and it's not getting you where you need to be, then that's one indication that there may be some addictive behavior, because addicts tend to chase the high. So, with that being the case, if you're smoking weed and that's not enough to keep you high or make you feel high, then the possibility of you having an additional issue with an addiction or to drugs could be very, very possible, and that might warrant you getting in touch with someone that can assist you better. But not only do these factors influence substance abuse or use, but they can lead to mental health problems as well. And that's what we're dealing with. Like lately, we've had a lot of mental health issues that can perpetuate or lead into the addiction, if they're not already there, happening. But because there's so many celebrities that get caught up with drugs and alcohol, many also get help. You know, um, there's Brandon Novak is just one of the many celebrities who had been able to turn their life around after getting treatment. Now he's a certified intervention professional that helps others take first steps to sobriety, and that's awesome when that happens. When there's someone who has actually been through it that can tell you what um, how they can help you, and different ways to prevent, different types of interventions. And I don't know about interventions, I don't know how the person that's the addict feels about an intervention. Knowing different types of interventions is important, but in the treating of substance users disorders and mental illnesses, there's techniques that are adaptable and there's some that aren't. Some individuals need and offer, the best solutions to their problem. There are meetings that are usually organized and planned so that your loved ones or the addict that is alongside maybe a certified intervention therapist or something like that, a CIP, a certified intervention, a certified intervention uh, specialist. I don't know where the P comes in, but it's CIP. I guess they dropped this S. But, like we were talking about Brandon Novak, he helped a lot of people get their, family members the help that they needed just to regain control over their own personal life and their sobriety. You know, there's so many different types, when we talk about an addiction intervention, basically there's various types that we can talk about, different intervention programs, because everybody's experience is a little bit different. So sometimes they can be tweaked to be a little bit more custom for that individual. Um, Often referred to as different things, but until the final assembly, um, the main goal of the intervention is in these meetings is just to help the person recognize that they have a problem. And it's unfortunate because I remember back in the day, people would say that the addict couldn't get assistance until they acknowledged that they had a problem. But interventions kind of help that person realize that they have a problem and that their substance abuse problem is creating different things with other people. And then they have Al Anon that helps the individuals that are family members deal with what's going on to help themselves. But a simple intervention is like more about bringing them and their loved ones together to kind of like have a conversation, which is what I've seen on TV shows and other shows. But the most informal intervention method is like a is more than more casual than staging an intervention with many people. It's very successful when it's organized and carried out alone or with the help of a specialist, because the person in charge of the meeting um, is the only individual that maybe the addict is respecting or they feel closer to them. So That's a simple one. A classic intervention is one that is very basic, but at the same time, it involves educating and counseling all the people that are involved in the intervention, including their family members, ahead of time so that they know what to expect. And perhaps if it's carried out, or maybe it won't be, something could happen to where that person doesn't allow this to be carried out. But many individuals will disappear if they find out ahead of time about the intervention. So the group leader has to have two or three participants that bring the person to the meeting without telling them that they're having one. And so that's important. Um, Family system interventions. And this kind of like is self-explanatory, but during this is based on the family frameworks. A lot of people can say that they're addicts because of something or some relationship that they had with their family. And if that's the case, maybe during this particular time, they've had issues battling codependency, and that could be, something going on, enabling behaviors and addictions. The methods that are used to offer this support to both the individual and their family members, to help promote healing, is essential in a family system intervention. And they're urged basically to receive therapy and counseling. But once everyone gets the help that they need, um, and getting individuals taken care of, no, sir, go on, play with your sister, then that basically gets the individual's addiction treatment can be a smoother process, hopefully. And then the fourth one I wanted to talk about is a crisis intervention. And in a crisis intervention, these are commonly held following an incident in which the person maybe almost overdosed or caused harm to others, or self-harm, violence, or whatever. And you're helping this person to realize that their addiction is, causing and can cause, you want them to be aware of this before death, you know what I mean? And you're helping these precautions. But finding the right type of intervention is huge. And there's different interventions, like I mentioned, to adjust your techniques to that person's situation is important, because one addiction may not be the same as another. But just like Brandon Novak, who has helped others because he's lived it, right? This is also a big help, and it helps to redeem even Brandon, for what he's done, but it also can help you. But there are redemption addiction treatment centers that have personal experiences of individuals that are there, that have struggled with addiction as a CIP, that are able to help families suffering from addiction, like I said, the Al-Anon meetings, and find sobriety for their loved ones. Now, if you're interested, you can call. If you're interested in Brandon Intervention Services, you can call them at 610-314-6747. And I'll go ahead and I'll put this in the comments, so that people can make efforts to get in touch with someone that they need to help them with the issues that they might be having, you know. And so if you are interested in Brandon Novak's uh, intervention program, I'm going to put this in the comments below so that you can be somebody that reaches out to his program and find out how you can help to help your loved ones or yourself. So to gain help for I'm trying to type and talk. uh, Addiction. I put addition. um, so with that being said, you want to make sure that whatever you have to do, if you are one of these individuals who is trying to help someone else, it is a challenge. I will say It is a challenge. So, you know, just be mindful of the fact that it is a challenge. It can be a struggle. And to kind of help things get moving along, you may have to call in an entity that can give you that advice and give you the direction to help you with those issues. So, we're going to move on to our next segment, but I do appreciate you joining in today in learning about celebrities are people too, and knowing that they do go through drug addiction. You know, we hear about it on a regular, but, you know, we want to be very much aware of their privacy and make sure that we help um, by being supportive in the struggle, because the struggle is real. And it's not just for celebrities, it could be for someone that you know as well. So, with that being said, we're going to move into our next segment of Each One Teach One, and we'll be right back after these messages.